Selling cash physical therapy packages has been the topic of conversation inside of our communities because over the last 12 months, we've been able to generate over $1 million in cash sales inside of our practice, selling $2,000 packages at a 90% conversion rate. So if you're also curious about how exactly we're doing this and want to learn the exact process that we do to have such a high conversion rate on our premium cash rates, lean into this video for the next 5 to 8 minutes so we can show you exactly how we're doing it. So most physical therapists actually feel very comfortable in talking to prospects over the phone and getting them scheduled for their initial evaluation. But when it comes time to actually pitch them on their pricing and on their packages and prescribe a plan of care, they freeze up because it feels like they're blindsiding their patients over the head with a price point that they didn't see coming, and they're getting all these objections like, oh, I need to talk to my spouse, or the infamous insurance objection, and they don't know how to respond, or they back down a little bit and they instead sell them on a per visit basis, which is honestly in many situations completely okay, because if you structured your packages appropriately, that means that you actually get paid more on a per visit basis. But by doing this can actually hurt the lifetime value of your clients. It can hurt their overall outcomes, and of course hurt the cash flow of the business because you don't have these quick infusions of cash coming in. Now, inside of our own clinic, even as we've scaled to over $1 million a year, we've still been able to maintain an average of 9.1 visits per patient, and when we're charging $200 per visit. Okay, during all of this, even as we've scaled to more rigid audiences, people that don't know us that well, that are much more reluctant because they didn't come in from word of mouth, referrals, or any workshops, we've been able to maintain a 90% conversion rate even as we started to scale. Now, if you are curious what kind of marketing strategies that we've used to scale to over $1 million a year, click the video above here so you can dive in and see what strategies we've used that allowed us to scale so rapidly. Now, before I tell you exactly how we're selling cash packages at the rate that we are, I do first want to talk about why selling cash packages is so important. And it has nothing to do with lining your pockets with your patient's money. There's actually a lot of other reasons why you want to sell cash packages, and a lot of it actually has to do to the benefit of your patients. Most practice owners think charging premium rates and selling packages is about lining your pockets, but that couldn't be further from the truth. There's actually a lot of reasons why you want to do this. When we first started selling cash packages, we were fearful that fewer people would convert. We'd actually get fewer clients in the door, but that couldn't be further from the truth. The opposite turned out to be true. Our conversation rate actually increased because we were prescribing exactly what we believed that as professionals, our patients needed to get to where they're trying to go, rather than us selling them on a per visit basis, which is really almost like try it as you go, which doesn't instill a whole lot of confidence in a lot of patients. A lot of people just want to know exactly what it is that they need, as they would if they went to an attorney, or they went to a doctor, or if they went to an accountant. Those individuals don't give them a plethora of ideas on what they could do. They tell them, here's exactly what you should do. If that's not an option, here are some other things that you can do. And that's exactly what we need to do when it comes to selling our cash packages. So because we're more convicted in actually prescribing exactly what that patient needed to get better, we found that our patients were more bought into exactly what we're selling. Also, something to consider is that because patients were paying up front, they were more invested, they were more compliant, they showed up to more visits, which resulted in better outcomes and led to more referrals and more word of mouth. So it was a trickle-down effect of benefits for everybody. Lastly, because our most popular package is a 10-pack, that's why we're averaging 9.1 visits per patient. And when you're averaging that many visits per patient, you have to work much less hard than every other practice out there to do the exact same revenue. So if you're trying to earn more without working as hard while being able to spend more time with your patients, provide an even better experience because you're not tired, selling packages is absolutely the way to go. Now, with this increased sales and increased cash flow from selling cash physical therapy packages, this means that we are able to pay our staff more and we're able to attract the best talent that's out there. It also means that we're able to invest more into our marketing and more into our scaling, as well as in creating a world-class patient experience. And when you combine all of these things, you're able to grow much faster than anyone else on the market. Now, if you are currently selling cash packages, let us know in the comments below and let us know what you're currently charging so that other people who aren't quite sold on selling packages can go through those and kind of get inspired for some of the stories and some of the successes that you're seeing from selling cash physical therapy packages. Now, what determines if you are going to be great at selling cash packages really depends on 3 different factors. Number 1 is pre-framing. Number 2 is being able to stack up the value value so that moving forward with your packages is an absolute no-brainer to your patients. Then lastly, number 3, the most important one is having absolute conviction in what it is that you're prescribing. At the end of the day, even if you are horrible at sales, the person that has the most conviction can sell just about anything. So as long as you fully believe in what it is you're prescribing, your prospects on the other side of that conversation are going to believe in it too. So how exactly do we do this? Pre-framing your cash packages starts during the first phone call and during the intake process. If you guys want to learn exactly how we do it, check out the video above because we outline every single detail of our onboarding process as well as our first call script to make sure that that person coming in expects to be pitched on a package so you don't feel like you're blindsiding your prospects at the end of the evaluation. Highly recommend checking that out. So assuming now that your patients have been properly pre-framed, that they're going to need multiple visits to get the desired outcome that they're looking for, now it's time to actually stack value, and all this happens during the evaluation. This is the most important step, making sure that you're actually stacking value throughout that evaluation, because if you wait until the very end to articulate what exactly you can do for them and all the things you can help them with, you've already lost. You need to constantly be building value throughout that evaluation. So we recommend using our evaluation checklist. So every single evaluation that you do should always start out the exact same, with you teeing up what they can expect and showing them that you've done your homework, you understand where they've been and what it is that they're trying to do, and instilling confidence that you can get them to where they're trying to go. And so what we start out by doing is reading back to them, and not reading off the page, but actually telling them what they put in their evaluation accelerator form and what it is their actual goals are, and making sure that you're both on the same page in terms of why they're there and what it is they're trying to do. Now, once you've confirmed that all the information you just read back to them is accurate and there's no missing details in there, now it's time to reference some other patients that you've worked with, that you've gotten them to the goal that they were looking for, that align with the vision and the problems that this patient is going through. Be sure to mention how you've saved them and prevented them from having to go through surgery, having to get MRIs, and how much money you actually saved them by doing so. This acts as a price anchor. When compared to surgery, our packages aren't so bad. So it's really important to tee this up at the very beginning and make them realize just how much money they can save by moving forward with your services. So now that you've teed up the evaluation, the next step is absolutely crucial in stacking value and building a case for you to be absolutely convicted in what it is you're going to prescribe your patient. So you go through the evaluation and you create a problems list. And every single time you identify a new problem, you actually write it down to refer back to when you move into the pitch, and you can explain exactly why it is you're recommending the number of visits that you're recommending. This does an insane job of stacking value because you're not just solving their knee pain, you're solving all these other things that are causing that knee pain. And so now they're not just buying one thing. Now they're buying each of these little things. And with each thing that you're solving, it increases the perceived value of what it is that you're pitching. So the goal is, by the end of the visit, being able to break down exactly why they're having pain, being able to read off of a list. Because when you pitch them that they need 10 visits, they're going to be wondering, well, why do I need 10 visits? And so you need to be able to break down exactly why they're having knee pain and what it exactly is contributing to it. For example, if you have a runner come in with knee pain, maybe it's their running form, maybe they have a strength imbalance, maybe they have tightness in certain areas. We basically just need to create a list of all of these different things to be able to explain to them exactly why they need this and to help them believe why they need it as well. So this is so important because they need to understand that their pain isn't going to be gone in 3 visits. They need to understand why they need to come for multiple visits to not just make the pain go away, but to make sure that that pain doesn't come back and that future injuries are avoided. By doing it this way and being able to read off all the different things that are contributing to their pain, it also helps a lot with drop-offs because they have a deeper understanding of why they need to keep coming back and all the different problems that need to get solved in order for this pain not to come back. Now, towards the end of your evaluation, now it's time to read back to them every single problem that you've identified and actually break down all the different issues that you're going to help them solve to solve their core problem that they came in for. And now once you've done that, now it's time to actually map out the entire process for solving each of those issues to help your patient visualize not just why you're prescribing them, the number of visits you're prescribing them, but to help them see the entire process. Because if there's any confusion in what that process looks like, a confused buyer never buys. And you're going to have a harder time getting them to commit, and you're going to see more drop-offs if you do not do this. And so this is the perfect segue into our secret weapon, something that we have mounted in every single treatment room because this has been insanely powerful for selling cash packages and also making sure that patients don't drop off halfway through the program because it does such a good job of helping them visualize why exactly they need each phase of our treatment and what it actually looks like. We call this secret weapon Mount Do More. And I know that's a super cheesy name, but it works so incredibly well. That's why we have it mounted in every single treatment room. We have all of our clients mounted in all of their treatment rooms. It really, really works to show them each phase that we're going to take them through, why they need so many visits, and ultimately how we're going to help them ascend Mount Do More, where they're able to do all of their favorite activities pain-free. It's essentially broken up into 3 phases. So this is where we actually explain to patients what the 3 phases are. And so phase number 1 is just getting them out of pain. Phase 2 is correcting the core problem that caused that pain. Then phase number 3 is all about strengthening and performance to make sure that that pain not only doesn't come back, but future injuries are avoided so they can start doing activities that they might have thought weren't doable for them anymore, like running marathons or adding 50 pounds to their squat. And so this chart helps them visualize why each phase is so important. We even go as far as to actually call out where most patients will drop off, which is when their pain goes away between phases 1 and phases 2. And so we actually tell them, listen, Mrs. Smith, like a lot of people do end up dropping off after the 3rd or 4th visit because they're out of pain. But I can tell you with absolute conviction that if you don't continue on and solve the core problem in phase 2, the odds of you coming back here in 6 months is extremely high, and you're going to end up spending even more money. And so we need to make sure that we get you out of pain. We need to solve that core problem, and then we need to focus on strengthening performance so you can get the long-lasting solution that you've been looking for, and also do the things that you thought that you just wouldn't be able to do anymore. Does this sound like a process that's going to work for you? And you close with that, because then all of a sudden they're going to say like, oh, yeah, it does. And then you can say, you know, why does it sound like it's going to work for you? And then they're going to start telling you all the different reasons why it's so different than anything else they've gone through, and how clearly they actually understand the process, making them so much more confident in making the decision and closing the deal. So that's it, you guys. That's how we built our practice to over $1 million a year, and how we're selling cash packages at a 90% conversion rate, even when people didn't come in through word of mouth, referrals, or any workshops. So I highly recommend going through this process, making sure that you're teeing up your evaluations, you're creating a problems list, and you create your own Mount Do More to hang up in your office to walk patients through the entire process so they can actually visualize what it is you're going to be doing from it. If you do that, I promise you your conversion rates are going to go up significantly. And guys, if you're not currently selling packages, I highly recommend you start doing it, because at the end of the day, if they say no to a cash package, you can always transition and just sell them on a per visit basis. It does not hurt to start pitching them on cash packages. So if you guys are looking for more training on cash physical therapy sales, make sure you click the link above. And if you got value out of this video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button so you can get notified when new trainings drop. And we really want to make sure that as many physical therapists see this training as possible, because we know how impactful that it can be. So make sure you hit that notifications button, smash that like button, and if you have any questions on any of this, make sure you drop it below so we can look forward to answering that question and helping you be on your way to selling more cash physical therapy packages.